I stomped into the crafty crown, absolutely seething with rage. Is it still at Angelo? Brendon saw me coming and, eyes wide, gestured to a stool in front of him.
Everything okay?
No! I can't stand Angelo! I swear, one of these days I'm going to just shove his head down the toilet.
Whoa, what happened?
He just refuses to work. He doesn't want to do anything because it's women's work. He spent half of today just staring at me. I have to make the beds, dust, polish and wax, run the laundry, everything, and I swear I'm just... Ah! Brendon rested a hand on my shoulder, and the sudden contact made me go silent. Oh, Angelo.
That sounds rough. Angelo can be hard to deal with. It's amazing you've lasted so long without ripping him to pieces.
Instantly, my anger cooled. I mean, I try my best. We're stuck working on this job together, after all. It won't do if one of us gets fired. He's not usually this bad. He's just being a jerk right now.
Here, I'll get you a drink. You want the usual? Vodka cranberry?
Actually, can I have a Moscow Mule this time? Brendon frowned.
A what?
Right. Brendon's not very good at cocktails. Oh, never mind. How about a White Russian?
What's with these Russian-themed drinks? Are you some kind of commie?
Oh gosh, Brendon, no, why? Why are you like this?
Is that the kind of guy you usually go for or something?
That was a bit unexpected. A vodka cranberry will do? Wait, isn't vodka Russian? That's probably why all those drinks have Russian names in the first place. But Brendon nodded happily and set about preparing the drink. I watched him from behind the counter. His uniform really suited him well, emphasizing his broad shoulders, not to mention the wiry muscles in his arms. Really? You're just gonna... okay. Yeah, you do you, Malia. It showed him off almost as well as Ashley's bartender outfit did her. The two of them should have been a picture-perfect couple, but something had obviously gone horribly wrong in their relationship. Ashley was so nice, too. At least she always seemed to be. What was the problem between them? He slid the glass over to me and looked at me expectantly. I took a sip. Ugh! I tried desperately, but unsuccessfully, to hide my gagging. Blah! Ugh! Syrup! It had been this long since he started, and he still hadn't gotten the hang of even a simple drink. How was the crafty crown still in business? I glanced around the bar. On the side where Brendon worked, there were almost no customers. In fact, all the customers were older men, crowding around Ashley's side of the bar making small talk with her. Anyone who came in made a sharp right and headed to her area of the bar. Brendon followed my gaze.
Oh, her.
Maybe now was a good time to ask about them. What exactly happened between you and Ashley, by the way, if you don't mind my asking? Brendon's face darkened. He glared at Ashley as if trying to drill holes into the back of her head, clearly deep in thought. After a few seconds, he sighed.
Oh, Ashley was very sweet. She was very nice. But we weren't suited to each other at all. We have very different personalities. I'm a bit too gruff for her, I think. It's not that I'm mean, though. I'm not mean, right?
I cautiously shook my head.
See? It's just... sometimes I say things and they come out totally wrong. I'm not trying to insult people, and if they really trusted me, they'd accept that and trust that I didn't have any bad intentions. But instead, they seem to think the absolute worst of me. I've never really been able to keep a girlfriend tied down.
Interesting choice of words. That certainly sounded all wrong.
It's just that things get all jumbled up. I swear, I'm trying really hard.
Maybe he was kinda like Mark, socially awkward.
I mean, you understand, right? Women can be really hard to deal with. They ask me for my opinion on an outfit or something, and I tell them, and they get mad. Why ask if they don't want the truth? I mean, you get me, right?
Well, let's make more enemies. Maybe you're just a jerk. Actually, you kind of sound like a douche. He smacked a hand to his face.
It's happening again. I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, isn't it better to be straightforward with people? Why bother asking a question if you just want the answer to make you happy? You might as well not ask it then. I can't be responsible for your happiness like that.
Why ask me if you didn't want my real answer? What a hypocrite.
I can't believe you don't get this. It's not a hard thing to understand. All women are the same. Jeez.
And that was why he was a jerk, not because he was blunt. Regardless, I held my tongue. Brendon seemed really upset, and I didn't feel like getting any further onto his bad side.
Well, whatever. Anyways, I should get back to work.
He held up his arms as if posing for a strongman competition.
Gotta get good, you know. I'll talk to you next time. You'll come back again, won't you?
He looked so anxious asking me that I instantly agreed. Of course I will.
Awesome! I can't wait.
I watched him leave and greet another customer with a broad grin, then looked down at my botched drink. I decided to leave it behind. As long as I don't have to pay for it. Hi, Angelo. You know, I've had a couple of thoughts with Angelo and Aussie. I predict that when we are playing the guy side of things, Angelo's gonna give us a ton of trouble, but Aussie is actually gonna be the one, like our protector in a sense. Like, she's gonna be on our side in that situation. That's what I'm predicting for that. And I looked up Kara after the last episode because I kind of figured I knew what it meant, but I wanted to look it up for sure. And he was calling her dear, basically. Beloved dear. So I was like, aw, Angelo, you give me them feels, even though you're terrible sometimes.
You did a terrible job of folding this corner. And look at the comforter, it's all slanted to one side. Where has your head been today, Malia?
I don't know, Angie. Maybe fitting blankets on a king-size bed would be easier if I wasn't the only one doing it.
I do the bathrooms and the floors. You do the beds and the clothes. That is fair. I've told you, I don't do women's work.
He shot me a look, and I tried very hard not to grind my teeth. Ever since that fight and subsequent awkwardness, Angelo and I had been bickering. Constant, non-stop bickering. He would tell me exactly how to do everything that I was doing. It was never good enough for him. I maintained that I was completely innocent, having done just as well as I did before. Nor did I ever pick a fight with him, as far as I could tell. All I had ever tried to do was open his mind just a little bit. It wasn't my fault that his mind was shut tighter than my mother's purse in a candy shop. Right. My work, your work, totally separate. You have told me that before.
Then why don't you start listening to me?
I have better things to do with my time. Ashley turned away. Ashley? Angelo. Sorry, Angelo. I fixed the bed sheets and we turned into the next room. Ah, this room. Isn't this the presidential suite? This was a larger room than most and would take more time to clean.
Try not to miss anything this time, right?
He shot me a glare and headed into the bathroom. I started to prepare the sheets, but was interrupted.
Malia?
Now what do you want?
Could you come here?
Rolling my eyes, I stepped into the doorway of the bathroom. What do you want?
There are these feminine things. I ask that you handle them.
I thought the bathroom was a man's job.
Yes, well, things are not always so cut and dried.
I frowned. The feminine items he was referring to were a box of tampons, a packet of birth control pills, and some makeup, all scattered around the sink. Sure, they were items that most guys would be embarrassed to touch, but they were pretty normal to have in a bathroom. This couldn't be the first time he'd encountered them. Was he just trying to get out of doing even this much work? Aw. I don't think so. I think he just genuinely wanted your help, but... I gotta leave some stuff for your route next time. Next time I will clean it up for you. You wouldn't help me with the bed, I won't help you with the bathroom.
This is different.
Yeah, because now it's you being inconvenienced, right? This job would be 1,000 times easier if you and I cooperated, but no, that's too much for your precious male ego. So fine, you do your manly work and I do my womanly work, and we never ever work together. I'll live with that. But if you don't keep up your end of it without complaining, I will get you fired. He stared at me without speaking, then turned and walked into the bathroom. Arrivederci, Angelo! Arrivederci! I was walking down the hall when I heard a series of loud bangs coming from one of the rooms. That was Danny's room, wasn't it? What was he doing in there? Could have been construction or repair for the hostel, but it didn't quite sound like hammering. More thumps and thuds, as if he were beating on something with his fists. He was probably just kicking a football around in his room or something, she says, not worried. But there was this time in sixth form. Oh, here we go. At Peggy's words, everyone in the room became intensely focused on the meal Ashley had prepared for us. Peggy didn't seem to notice the disinterest. Stephanie was on and on about how she had this horseback at the manor. Seriously, she said it like that. The manor. And a saddle with diamonds on it. And we thought she was a right twat, as anyone else probably would. But then her parents actually brought her horse around, and it really did have a diamond saddle. Titchy little ones like you'd see on a handbag, right? Either diamonds or rhinestones, but her family was proper flush, so I think it really was diamonds. Totally bling. And then this other girl, Donna? I can't remember, tried to nick it. Not the saddle, the entire horse. She got on when no one was looking and just rode off. Of course, she got herself nicked then, and the fuzz brought her back, crying all over the place. God, she was the worst. I remember one time she caught onto a boy named Alexander, who was dating another girl in the form. Peggy! I jumped. Peggy stared wide-eyed at Aussie, who had slammed her fist onto the table.
I'm sick of hearing about your sixth form. Do you think any of us care? We don't know these people. We will never know these people. We do not care about these people. Most of these stories aren't even interesting.
The diamond saddle was a little interesting.
Oh, so she's 1 for 12. Let's give her a round of applause.
Aussie glared at Ashley, who looked away.
I swear, if I ever have to hear about your sixth form again, I'll smack you across the face. Learn to read the room. Maybe if you did, you wouldn't be so bloody annoying.
Finished with her tirade, Aussie grabbed herself another helping of noodles, then took her plate and left the room. Boy, that was mean, wasn't it? Peggy laughed nervously and we avoided her eyes. Wasn't it? She was out of line, wasn't she? A stiff silence met her question. After a few seconds, Ashley squeaked up.
She was definitely a little harsh, if you ask me.
Right. Peggy fiddled with her fork for the rest of the meal, which didn't last very long. Suddenly, everyone grew ravenous and finished their food in moments, at which point they hastily shuffled out of the room. I hurried to join them. Oh good, I didn't have to interact with that situation at all. Yay. I woke with a shudder. I'd had a terrible nightmare about getting trapped in the Eurotunnel on the train between England and France. Stuck down there in the dark with the entire English Channel over my head. Gah. Rubbing my eyes, I crawled out of bed and started to get ready for the day. I had just pulled on my clothes when there was a light rapping against my door.
Malia?
Yes? The knob turned. Shit, I forgot to lock it when I went to bed? Before I could grab for it, Ji-hyo burst her way in.
Hey, I need a favor.
Ah! I didn't give you permission to come in here! She looked me up and down, an eyebrow raised.
Well, you're not naked. What's the problem?
I nearly was, though!
We are both girls. It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Yes, it is!
Anyways, I need your help on a painting today. I was hoping you'd come with me.
Me? Really? I frowned, scratching the back of my head. So you need someone to carry your stuff? She crossed her arms.
Come on, I'm not like that. No, I need your presence near me. I want you to join my flow.
That sounded a little...
I won't keep you more than a few hours, and it's your day off too. So please?
How did you know that?
I have my ways.
She grinned, and I again found myself wondering about her. Her personality was so hard to pin down. Had she asked around to find out about my schedule? Was she interested in me? Did I want her to be? I feel bad, especially since I insulted her last time, but gosh. Not this time. She frowned.
Really? I mean, if you have other plans...
It's not that I have other plans, really. I mean, I do. I do have other plans. Smooth, Malia. She clasped her hands together behind her back and laughed.
Yeah, it was silly of me to think. Anyway, I'll let you get to your, engagement.
Thanks. It wasn't that I didn't like Ji-hyo at all, but she was a little strange, and I didn't really want to spend my free day with her. No hard feelings? She shook her head at me, though it looked more like a shake of annoyance than a gesture of reassurance.
I'll see you.
Well, that was awkward. Sorry, Ji-hyo. I would go. Hopefully I don't get murdered by one of you people while I'm here.
Thank you for your help. No problem, Angie. That is not my name. I know, man. I know.
He grinned, and Angelo walked away, shaking his head. Danny, can I... As soon as he noticed I was there, and that we were alone, Danny left the room. Danny, why are you the hardest... Danny had been avoiding me lately. He still spoke to me as if things were normal when we were surrounded by other people, but every time we had an opportunity to speak privately, his smile fell and he ran from me as fast as he could. This time, however, I decided to tail him. You can't avoid me forever, Danny. He stopped to look at me and shake his head and disappeared into his room. Danny! I stood outside of his bedroom door. Please talk to me. I'm not going to hurt you or anything. I don't bite, and I haven't broken anyone's fingers in years. His voice was only slightly muffled by the door between us.
You broke someone's fingers.
Never sneak up on a girl who's just been to self-defense class.
Ace.
So you'll talk to me then? His door cracked open a bit, and he stuck his face through.
Depends. What exactly do you want to talk to me about so badly? You and I, we've never really talked.
No, I suppose we haven't. But isn't that reason enough to do so now? I have some questions for you anyway. He grimaced and pulled the door open wider.
My guess is that you won't leave me alone until you get whatever answers you're looking for. Is that about right?
Because we haven't interacted with Danny all that much, I'm not sure. Let's try insisting, first off. Yep, definitely.
You don't seem like the type to get tired or bored, and I'd rather not feel like I'm dancing around mines when I go for a snack.
Oh. I grinned, feeling only a little bad for pestering him so much.
Alright, but we're not having this conversation here.
Okay, I think this is working out. I wasn't quite sure how to read you yet.
I don't want anybody else to overhear this.
We walked to a cafe, making idle chit-chat on the way over. At least, I made chit-chat. Danny looked almost constipated, he was so closed up. I had no idea what was making him so nervous. It was like he already had an idea of how this conversation would pan out, but he didn't even know what I was there to ask. We sat at a table up against the front window, me with a minty mocha and him with some kind of fancy black tea. Danny sipped his drink politely, looking like a medieval knight or an aristocratic gentleman. He had that kind of effortless poise and grace that other men would be desperate to emulate.
So, Malia.
I perked up.
What do you think of me, really? What do you know about me?
Sheesh. You're a great guy with low self-esteem. You're hiding some dark secret. Damn, coming at me with all the options right now. I'm thinking this? I don't know. Like, the top one's so basic. I feel like he'd be offended, like, yeah, you have no idea who I am. You're hiding some dark secret.
That obvious, is it?
Well, it's obvious that something's bothering you anyway. Something makes you feel like you don't deserve people caring about you.
I guess I should have known you would piece it together. Maybe I even wanted you to. It's hard when nobody around you knows. Sometimes I completely forget that it ever happened, and sometimes it's all I can think about. Everyone here smiles and laughs so easily. It's like they've never struggled. They've never been someone bad. Now is your chance to turn back. We can pretend this never happened. Sometimes you really do wish you had never known something.
No, I definitely want to know. I'm sure it's fine.
Don't say I didn't warn you. I won't bother asking that you think well of me after I tell you, especially because I'm still... Some parts I will never explain more than what I will say now.
Stop acting like you know how I'll react. It's annoying me.
I suppose. Well then.
He folded his hands on the table and took a deep breath.
I spent years in a young offenders institute, top security. I won't tell you exactly when or where or why. It was all committed under a different name, and I will not tell you what my birth name is.
Whoa, okay.
What I did was bad enough that I was granted anonymity when I was released, to prevent anyone from tracking me down to get revenge. Merry Bell Order, they call it. The Danny you know now is very different from the person I was before I got locked up, and even for a time after I came out of it. It took a while for me to face the bad parts about myself. I think about it sometimes. Everyone acts like it's so easy for them to be good. I wonder where I went wrong, or what was wrong with me. What is wrong with me that makes it so tempting? But I digress. There it is. That's why I don't think I am a good person. Because I know I am not. But I am also not the same person I was. I have made vast improvements. I am safe to be around. I won't hurt other people. You don't need to worry about that, although I understand if you don't trust me.
He took a sip of his tea that met my eyes for the first time in days.
So?
That wasn't what I had expected to hear. Not at all. Considering he didn't want to tell me why he went to jail, I had to assume it was for something seriously bad. And while he was a child at that. What did he do? The fact that he was okay with me assuming the worst, murder, or Did that mean he had done it? Did that mean he had done worse than the worst? But he was sitting expectantly in front of me, waiting for a response. Suddenly, the friendly and controlled exterior he always showed around the hostel, the concern for and awareness of others' needs, made sense. He taught himself how to behave that way precisely because it was not natural for him. And all the time I'd known him, he had been nothing but kind and chivalrous. A bit moody, but reliable. Almost like a father figure, if he'd been older, of course. But this Danny in front of me now, this Danny, was different. He was approaching me as an equal, and judging from the tension in his hands, he was nervous.
Set your teeth on edge, have I? That's about right. Haha.
Gosh. I'm still not sure how to read this guy. I just don't know if we should be truthful or if we should surprise him and be like, it doesn't bother me. Well, let's try that. It doesn't bother me. I smiled and tried to put him at ease. Why didn't you tell me before?
Isn't it obvious?
Okay, so he's of the pleasantly surprised when you put trust in him type. Gotcha. I'm your friend, Danny. We're friends. I'm not going to judge you because of something you did in the past. You've been nothing but kind to me. Well, up until now. Now I know you've been lying to me. Frankly, I'm hurt. I grinned at him and he seemed utterly bewildered.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
I'm not upset, silly. I'm just saying, I'm not going to judge you based on the past. Whoever you were before doesn't matter. The man I know is Danny, who has always been kind and sweet. That's who you are to me. Danny suddenly placed his hand over mine and leaned across the table towards me. Ah, okay. What? And then he kissed me! What? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Time out! Eek! Put on the brakes there. Eek! Really? I've hardly interacted with you forever? You've been avoiding me? And then a smooch? What? He pulled away, then laughed.
The look on your face. It's... Sorry. Did I upset you? I didn't mean to, I just couldn't control myself. I've been interested in you for a while, you know, but I didn't feel like I could hope to be worthy of you, I suppose. Now I know I'll never be worthy of you, but that's okay. I've decided that I want to make you mine.
Okay,
Of course, you do have some choice in the matter. I don't expect you to decide immediately. Just give me a chance. Think about it.
Alright. He beamed.
Great. Now let's get you back to the hostel before one of the lads in here gets some idea about stealing you away. This talk ended well. Thank you, Malia. You're truly remarkable.
He shook his head.
Anyways, I'll give you some space. I'm sure I'm coming on terribly strong. Have a good night, Malia.
He crossed the hall and went into his room. I shut my door and stumbled over to my bed. So, not only was he some kind of ex-convict, but he also had feelings for me? How did I feel about Danny? Did I want to pursue a relationship with him, especially now that I knew the truth? But even now, I didn't know the whole truth. What if he had hurt someone in the past? Did I want to entrust my safety and my heart to a man like that? It was all too much. Suddenly exhausted, I crawled under my covers and closed my eyes. In no time, I was asleep. Understandable, girl. Goodness gracious me.